Hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome to another episode of Fridays Are For Friends. My name is Khallil, and I'm here with an amazing artist, NJ. You just released a single titled The Beast. Can you tell us a little bit about that track?
Yeah, I'll spill the tea for you. I wrote that song um, after my last breakup. I guess not last breakup, last relationship. I found out that he cheated on me, and my dad and I took a trip to Ohio, where I'm from, and we went to my childhood home, and we went to all these nostalgic places, and I just wanted to feel like I was at home after that. And we went to my favorite amusement park. It's called Kings Island, and if you know, you know. And we rode all these rides, and I remember sitting there and just thinking, wow, like my whole life is different, and someone I really loved did that to me, and how do I process this? And I'm riding these rides, and I'm thinking, this is like a metaphor. Like, he literally took me for a ride. So I ended up naming the song after that ride, and now it's about my trauma. So yeah.
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 Being vulnerable in your music, how do you think it has helped you be a better artist?
I think that for a long time I was really scared of it, and I didn't know that I really had it in me to dig deep and say all these things that everybody's thinking, but everybody's kind of too scared to acknowledge. And I think that it's changed the way that I perform. It's changed the way that I go about my artistry, and it's attracted different people to my music, and it makes me feel a lot more authentic. And I love that.
Yeah, and speaking about your performances, you performed 50 times last year
Yeah.
that you booked all on your own.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. And then, second part to that question is if you have any advice for independent artists who are trying to book as well.
It's a tough one. I started performing in 2022, and it was a very slow burn. I was really struggling to get any shows, any experience. I was taking breadcrumbs, honestly. I didn't even get to my first open mic until 2023. So I would say putting yourself out there as much as you can, whether it's on the street, whether it's because I did busking one time. I've held signs on the belt line and gotten people's attention. I feel like open mics are the best way to really meet people and get yourself out there, and then let things come to you. I mean, I think when you put the work in, that people will notice and they'll want to book you, and you won't have to chase it after a while. But it definitely takes a lot of work, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think was the hardest part about that whole situation?
I think knowing when to say no, because you don't want to have too much going on. Like, you don't want to. It's quality over quantity. I think that when you continuously put yourself out there, it's great, but there are some shows where you don't really feel like you belong, and sometimes I just felt like a little bit too professional, and everybody was slacking, and I was like, okay, I'm no longer doing these shows, and you just kind of have to get the experience. But that yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. And what was one thing that held you back as an artist, and how did you overcome it?
I think the fear of being told no, because when you start out, you're putting yourself out there so much, and you're figuring out what you want your brand to be, and who you're trying to attract. And when you see things online of like, I want to do this show, or this would be perfect, or this would be perfect, but I don't have enough followers, I don't have enough streams, it can make you feel insecure in that. And instead, now I don't care, because I know what my worth is, and everybody else should know as well. And nobody's going to know who you are better than you. And if they say no, then okay, on to the next. But it took a long time for me to understand that hungry mouths don't get fed. If you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not putting in the work, if you're not trying to network and get yourself experience, then who's fighting for you?
Yeah, I feel that. And you're on your debut album,
Yeah.
and you're currently recording it.
Yeah.
How is that going? And what is the theme of the album?
Overall, I would say heartbreak. And it really is about sitting with heartbreak and acknowledging it and feeling it to its core, and not just brushing it off and distracting yourself. I would say recording it is honestly a dream. Like, I've always wanted to record an album, and it's a lot of work, and it's but it's I don't know, it's the most therapeutic thing I've ever done. Like going in there and just getting all these feelings out, and then I'm like, wait, that was great. It actually sounds great. Like that's so weird. I didn't think I could do that, you know. And I'm working with an incredible producer, so Aaron Rizzo, shout out to you. And it just makes the space feel so intimate, and I feel like our friendship has grown too as well.
Yeah. And how have you grown as an artist since starting your project to where you are now?
Ooh. I think that this project actually didn't even become a project until I grew. I think that it was just an idea for a long time, but I've been working a lot at being, what's the word? Being consistent. Being a very consistent artist and brand. And I think that I didn't know what feelings to put on a project until I felt them and until these songs came to life. I actually just finished writing it as I'm recording it, so not all of the songs were written forever ago, and they're very fresh, and I think that's the best way to record it.
Yeah, and what is your songwriting process?
It's different for every song, but 9 out of 10 times it's a melody and then it's lyrics, whether it's on guitar or I hear something or it's production. But I think that I love the feeling of like, oh my god, this sound with this sound with this sound, and then what do I want it to be about? But there are times where I'll go in and I'll write a paragraph about something that I need to get off my chest. Like, oh, wait, those are lyrics. She's a poet.
Yeah. Sure. And what do you want people to take away from your music, or how do you want them to feel when listening to your music?
I think I want them to feel whatever they feel is necessary. I think that if it brings out a new emotion, then that's really what I want. I don't want them to go into it like, I need to feel angry, I need to feel happy, I want them to put it on and sit with it and let it breathe. And, you know, if you cry, great. I love crying. Crying is my favorite thing to do. And if you need to dance, then dance. If you need to, I don't know, call your mom, I would say call your mom. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think allowing yourself to feel what the music is inspiring you to feel.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all excited to hear what you have coming and to hear your project. And we want people to listen to the music you have out now. So can you tell them where they can find your music?
Yeah, you can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud. It's just under NJ, like New Jersey, or No Joke, whichever you prefer. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you guys for watching another episode of Fridays Are For Frnds. Peace.